Faith will move mountains. Good morning, today is Monday, February 26, 2024. Today in history, on this day 222 years ago, the French Romantic literary writer Victor Hugo was born. His notable works include Notre Dame de Paris, Les Miserables, and Les Contemplations. Throughout his prolific career spanning over 60 years, Hugo wrote a plethora of poems, novels, plays, essays, literary critiques, and political articles. His profound influence extends not only in France but also across the globe, earning him the moniker Shakespeare of France. Qingqiao, bridging the business world and delivering information to you. Welcome to today's Qingqiao Morning News. Let's start with political updates. Cambodia puts forward 174 infrastructure projects proposal. According to the Cambodia China Times, Sun Chanthol, Deputy Prime Minister of Cambodia and Chairman of the National Logistics Committee, recently chaired a meeting to assess the Comprehensive Master Plan for Transportation and Logistics System 2023 to 2033. This plan outlines short, medium, and long-term objectives, encompassing 174 infrastructure projects. These projects include 94 road developments, 8 railway expansions, 23 inland canal enhancements, 20 maritime improvements, 10 aviation initiatives, and 15 logistics endeavors. Sun Chanthol stated that the total investment required for these projects amounts to $36.679 billion, with $19.9 billion needed in the short and medium term. According to relevant sources, the list of 174 projects mentioned earlier encompasses the $1.7 billion Funan Techo project. This initiative focuses on the Funan Techo Canal, stretching 180 kilometers along an inland canal route from the seaport of Kep Province to the Phnom Penh port of Zion County, Kandal Province. Spanning 4 provinces, Kep, Kampot, Takeo, and Kandal, it is expected to benefit a population of 1.6 million people. Last October, the Cambodian government and China Road and Bridge Corporation signed a cooperation framework agreement, paving the way for construction, expected to commence by year-end. New Zealand records lowest fertility rate in 2023. According to the British Guardian, data from Statistics New Zealand reveals a decline in the number of births in 2023, marking the lowest figure in 20 years with 1,932 fewer births compared to 2022. This drop coincides with a 3% increase in the number of women aged 15 to 49, the prime childbearing age group. Consequently, New Zealand's fertility rate stands at 1.56 children per woman, down from 1.66 in 2022 and below the replacement rate of 2.1 needed for population stability. Analysts at Statistics New Zealand attribute this decline in fertility to a broader international trend, particularly prevalent in Western nations, where women are delaying childbirth and subsequently having fewer children. Factors contributing to this trend include the increasing age at which women start families and longer intervals between births. Furthermore, the complex interplay of social factors influences fertility rates. In 2023, reasons for the decline in births in New Zealand include escalating living expenses, soaring rents, and rising property prices. Secondly, we'll bring you updates on military-related news. The UK allocates over £4 billion for drones. According to Reuters, the British Ministry of Defence has unveiled plans to invest £4.5 billion over the next decade to expedite the deployment of drones across the British Army, Royal Navy, and Royal Air Force. These drones will serve various purposes, including intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, strike, and logistical support. The British Defence Procurement Minister emphasised the importance of adapting to evolving warfare tactics, citing the conflict in Ukraine as a catalyst for innovation. He stressed the need for the UK to swiftly develop and enhance its unmanned aerial systems to gain a strategic edge on the battlefield. Additionally, the UK has contributed 4,000 drones to Ukraine and earmarked £200 million from its £2.5 billion support package to procure drone systems. Now, let's turn our attention to the latest economic news. U.S. plans $10 billion subsidy for Intel. According to Bloomberg News, the Biden administration plans to grant Intel a $10 billion subsidy, comprising loans and direct grants, as part of its effort to revitalize the semiconductor manufacturing sector in the United States. This subsidy marks the largest allocation within the government's initiative to incentivize domestic semiconductor production. Negotiations on the funding details are ongoing. Intel's stock rose 1.1% following the news. Previously, the U.S. implemented the Chip and Science Act of 2022, allocating $39 billion in direct grants and $75 billion in loans and loan guarantees to encourage semiconductor companies to relocate chip production to the U.S. The Biden administration aims to establish at least 2 major manufacturing clusters by 2030, building on the $230 billion already invested by global chip firms in the country. Intel, once a dominant force in the chip industry, faces stiff competition from Asian rivals like TSMC and Samsung Electronics, which have established factories in Arizona and Texas. Intel CEO Pat Gelsinger has lobbied for government support, emphasizing that the company's future projects depend on securing this funding. Now, here is some important safety information. Truck crash in Philippines, kills 15. According to Agence France-Presse, a tragic accident unfolded in Negros Oriental Province, Central Philippines, as a truck transporting a livestock trader veered off course, plummeting into a 40 to 50 meter deep canyon. The crash resulted in the loss of 15 lives, with an additional 2 individuals sustaining injuries. Stephen Polliner, spokesperson for the Negros Oriental Provincial Police Office, attributed the accident to slippery roads caused by 2 days of heavy rainfall, hindering the driver's ability to brake effectively. The truck, besides passengers, was also transporting pigs and other live animals. Rescue teams have recovered all occupants, while the injured driver receives medical treatment and may face charges. Road accidents are common in the Philippines due to insufficient oversight of public transportation, vehicle overloading, and inadequate road maintenance. Last December, another tragic incident occurred when a bus failed to brake, careening into a canyon in Antique Province, Central Philippines, claiming the lives of 17 individuals. Singapore alters Sky Lantern Festival approach. According to Lianhe Xiaobao, the Singapore's first Sky Lantern Festival recently took place at Palawan Beach in Sentosa. However, participants were dismayed to discover that the organizer had failed to provide candles for the sky lanterns. Instead, LED candle lights were substituted, rendering the lanterns unable to generate the necessary heat to lift off and fly. The Sentosa Development Authority clarified that the organizer had rented the venue but failed to adhere to safety regulations, resulting in the absence of a license. As a precautionary measure, only sky lanterns equipped with LED candles were distributed, and the event was held as a concert instead. Under the Singapore Environmental Public Health Act, organizers of temporary markets must secure permission from authorities to ensure compliance with safety regulations during stall openings. Responding to the incident, the organizers of the Singapore's first Sky Lantern Festival emphasized their priority on participant safety, especially for children. They cited concerns regarding the potential risks associated with burning, flying, and loss of sky lanterns. Expressing regret and extending apologies for the inconvenience caused, they also thanked members of the public for their understanding and support. Finally, here's some intriguing cultural news. Vietnam's Dong Quang Temple Festival kicks off in 2024. According to the Vietnam news agency, the 2024 Dong Quang Temple Fair in Vietnam commenced recently, featuring a plethora of traditional cultural activities. Among these were buffalo sacrifices, bamboo inscription offerings, and the Mother Across the River ceremony, alongside various cultural, sports, and entertainment events. Following the traditional rituals, the organizing committee arranged diverse entertainment activities, including an art photo exhibition showcasing the Van Yen District customs, a recreation of the rural market cultural space, sports competitions, and folk games. Dong Quang, situated on the Red River's bank in Ben Den Village, Dong Quang Commune,Ien Bai Province, Vietnam, holds historical significance as a site of worship for the Second Mother. It also commemorates national heroes who resisted Yuan and Mongolian invaders in the 13th century and heroes of the Dai Dao people who valiantly fought in the anti-French uprising of 1914. The chairman of the People's Committee of Van Yen District in Vietnam expressed hopes that through the Dong Quang Temple Festival, the district can elevate the temple's status as a national historical site to attract tourists worldwide. This initiative aims to drive faith tourism, foster local economic and social development, and safeguard and promote the nation's cultural heritage, thereby making positive contributions to the region's identity and prosperity. Financial Newsletter. Silian Press News. Data indicates that global oil supply is expected to reach a record high of 1.038 million barrels per day in 2024, with non-OPEC Plus sources contributing 95% of the increase. Refinery crude oil operations are projected to rise by 1 million barrels per day to 833,000 barrels per day for the year. That's all for today's Qingqiao Morning News. Thank you for listening.